Here are the best Black Friday deals for music production software and plugins in 2020. Starting first, we have FL Studio. This is my main DAW of choice, and right now they're running a Black Friday sale where you could get the All Plugins edition of FL Studio for only $400. Normally it's closer to $1,000. It's actually $899. And then you actually get an even better deal if you're actually an owner of FL Studio already. So here I just signed into my account, and if you go to the See Limited Offer, because I already own the FL Studio Producer Edition, I could actually get the upgrade to the All Plugins Edition for only $210. And it will be even cheaper if you own the Signature Edition. And as you can see, the sale goes on until the end of the month. Next up, we have Arturia, specifically Pigments 2, the Effects Collection, and the V Collection 7. If you're not familiar with Pigments 2, I'll leave a link in the description below with my Pigments 2 video when that first released. But in a nutshell, it's a wavetable synthesizer, one that I definitely recommend if you're looking for more modern types of sounds and synthesis, with a touch of vintage analog feel with the filters that they have inside of Pigments. But right now, Pigments is 50% off, so you could get it for $100. Same deal with the Effects Collection, and all three are 50% off. Then we have the V Collection, which again is 50% off. This is what I recommend you buy if you don't have any third-party plugins and you're just getting started and you need better sounds, or you want to start getting into sound design. So you're getting 24 software instruments for this, so it's about $10 per instrument. Normally these instruments cost $100 to $200. Next we have the Izotope Holiday Bundle. So for $50, you can get all of the Izotope Elements plugins. So that's Ozone Elements, Neutron Elements, RX Elements, Nectar Elements. And it also includes Iris 2 and Trash 2, along with a stereo shaping plugin. And last but not least, a multi-effects plugin called Excalibur. Oh, and they give you this Phoenix Reverb as well. So there's quite a bit in this bundle. I'll have a tutorial comparing all the Elements plugins from Izotope to the full versions of those plugins. That way you can decide whether or not you want to go with this bundle or the next bundle that I'm about to tell you about. This sale goes on until December 8th, so I'll make sure I have those videos out before then. If you do decide that you like the advanced versions of those plugins, then you might want to go with the Tonal Balance Bundle. Normally it's $700. You could get it for $200. To qualify for this deal, you just have to own any paid Izotope product at all. So if you've bought any of the previous Elements plugins in the past, you would be able to upgrade to this product. Next, we have one of my favorite newer plugin companies, Baby Audio. I really like this company because they make really simple interfaces for their plugins and they sound really, really good. I'll leave links in the description below for the tutorials that I did for Super VHS, Comeback Kid, and the Parallel Aggressor / iHeart New York. Right now you could save 60% and get all four of them for just $69. They also have bundles where you could get just 2 plugins for $49, like Super VHS Parallel Aggressor or Comeback Kid with Super VHS. I definitely recommend that combination. Or Parallel Aggressor and Comeback Kid. This next effects bundle is really affordable. It's just $19.99. It's usually right around $300. I bought this about a year ago. It comes with Hybrid 3, which is somewhat underrated. It's a really good beginner synth for sure. You could absolutely create quality sounds with this synth. Then you have Riser. If you're into EDM, this is definitely useful for that, to create transition effects. And then you have the Creative Effects Collection Plus. I'm definitely going to do a video on this, but these are really simple to use, really clean interfaces that will get your normal sounds to really stand out. So if you've ever been curious about some of the effects that come with Pro Tools, this is a huge collection of effects that are included there. If you're a fan of Noah Shabib and Drake, specifically that lo-fi effect, they really love that plugin. Speaking of lo-fi, again, I'll leave a link in the description below for the video that I did covering this plugin. This is Cassette by Waves Factory. Normally it's $60. You could get it for $29. And it is by far my favorite lo-fi plugin. Definitely check out that video to hear the quality and the tones and the textures that I'm able to pull out of Cassette. Now in 2020, you definitely can't mention lo-fi and plugins and not talk about RC20. Normally it's $100, but right now you can get it for half price for $50. But it is pretty much the quintessential lo-fi tool in the plugin community. I have not done a dedicated tutorial on RC20, but leave me a comment below if you want to see a comparison comparison of RC20 and Waves Factory Cassette, and I could do that video for you guys. Continuing on the lo-fi trend, I've also done a video on reels. I'll drop that link in the description below as well. Normally 60 bucks, you can get it for 38. If you're just looking for tape saturation with the lo-fi feel, this is exactly that. It's just literally tape saturation, and you're able to achieve the lo-fi vibes with the settings that are in here. We have the Soundtoys 5 plugin bundle. I do plan on doing a video on the Soundtoys effect rack, which I bought last year. Right now you can get it for 56% off, so you can get it for $129. I believe I paid $100 for it myself when it first dropped, so you're almost getting the launch price for this plugin. If you're not familiar with what the effect rack is, it's literally all of the Soundtoys plugins inside of one rack. So you wouldn't be able to use these plugins individually outside of the rack. You would actually have to load up the rack, and if you just wanted to use, say for example, Decapitator, you would just load up Decapitator and just use that as a single plugin. I personally don't have any issue with that. I do believe there are a small handful of plugins that aren't included, but nothing that I would personally use. It's the little versions of the big plugins right here. Well, I take that back. Really, it's these three: Little Primal Tap, Micro Shift, and Radiator. We already have the full versions of those plugins. Alter Boy and Little Plate, those you wouldn't have, but it's not a big deal, I promise you. You can also get the individual plugins for over 50% off. So for example, Crystallizer, which is a plugin I recommend, this is 73% off, so you're only paying 40 bucks for it. Next, we have another plugin that I covered in last year's Black Friday that I did end up picking up, and I did a tutorial on that as well. I'll leave a link in the description below. This is 40 bucks. It's called SubLab. It's really a go-to for 808s. It actually has a lot of 808s that are radio ready as presets built into it. Some of them you actually might recognize from actual songs. They even have them labeled as the songs that they came from. I should also point out that you could get the SubLab pack bundle for 25 bucks. It's just expansion packs for SubLab. These are the expansion packs that they include. I'm sure a lot of you know who Decap is. And then these Hits DNA Volume 2 and 3, those are literally the actual 808s from actual songs that they've included inside of SubLab. Next, we have an oldie but a goodie. I already mentioned the Air bundle before, but if you were to get any Air product, I would definitely recommend you pick up Expand. Basically just a nice preset plugin, a rompler if you will. It's really easy to layer sounds or just use really basic sounds, at least as a place point until you come up with a better sound or layer some sounds together or switch it out with a better VST. But this has very low CPU usage. If you wanted to use these presets in the final version of your track, you absolutely could. Most of the beats that I made in 2019 used Expand with stock presets, but you get 2,500 different presets in all these categories. So this is a great starter, especially for 5 bucks. I mentioned lo-fi plugins earlier, and I forgot to mention Sketch Cassette 2. Back when I first started YouTube, Aberrant DSP actually reached out to me to do a video on Sketch Cassette 1, but there are a lot of bugs and problems with it, so I never dropped that video. And fortunately, they didn't hold that against me. They actually said in an email when they dropped Sketch Cassette 2, they were basically apologizing for the bugs in Sketch Cassette 1. However, I did try Sketch Cassette 2, and all the problems that I had with 1 are fixed. So for 20 bucks, you could get a really good lo-fi plugin that competes with the $50, $100 plugins for sure. I'm going to do a video on this within the next 2 weeks. Stay tuned if you want to hear what Sketch Cassette sounds like. That being said, I have done a video on Shapeshifter, and this is a compressor slash saturator. It's a great way to radically shape your sound and change it into something a lot more aggressive than what it was before. Next, we have Synthmaster 1 and Synthmaster Bundle. I've actually mentioned these plugins in last year's Black Friday video, and again, I definitely still recommend these two synths, especially for the price. For 49 bucks, these synths definitely compare to the more expensive $100, $200 synths in terms of the actual sound quality. I think the reason these don't sell as much as the other synths is because of the UI. There's not a lot of videos covering Synthmaster 1 and Synthmaster compared to the other videos. Leave a comment if you do own Synthmaster or plan on getting it and would like to see some videos on sound design in these two synths, and I'll get that done for you. However, if you're looking to save some money me and you're curious what Synthmaster sounds like, Synthmaster Player is literally just a rompler full of presets from both Synthmaster 1 and Synthmaster, and you could get it for just $5. I definitely recommend having this. Basically, I was using Synthmaster Player and Expand together to make beats really, really fast. Everything's categorized, you could filter it through tags, and the quality of the sounds are legit, so you can just get started and not really worry about searching for sounds all day. And for you EDM guys, here's a gate plugin that I definitely recommend. I've bought gate plugins in the past, but this one just sounds really, really clean. You don't have to worry about clicking or popping. The thing just works, and it's 24 bucks. I just picked it up the other day on Infected Mushroom's website. I actually recommend getting it on Plugin Boutique instead. That way you can get your virtual cache and your tokens. I just didn't realize that it was also available on Plugin Boutique, so I skipped over that. But if you're smart, go ahead and pick it up on Plugin Boutique so you get your free money. Last but not least, for those of you who like to use samples and loops, you can get 3 months of Loop Cloud for $3, and you'll also get Loopmaster's Bass Master plugin for free. Also comes with a gigabyte of Loop Cloud samples, and the offer ends on the 2nd of December. If you're not familiar with Loop Cloud or Loopmasters, I'll leave a link in the description below with the video that I show covering Loop Cloud. So that covers all the best Black Friday deals for plugins and music production software that I've found for 2020. If you have any questions, or if you found any other deals that you think were worthy of mentioning, definitely comment those down below, and I'll make sure that I add those to either the pinned comment or I'll add them somewhere in the description. Let me know which plugins you ended up picking up. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.